Satnam, my name is Japjit Kaur and I'm here with Avneet Kaur, who is our academic director at Miri Piri Academy. In this series, we're going to be looking at each of the 10 gurus over the course of each month, starting with January and Guru Nanak. So Avneet, can you tell us where you want to start this story of Sikhi and of Guru Nanak?
The very first thing which I would like to say is that who is a guru? For a Sikh, who is a guru? And how do we look at a guru? When, like you just mentioned that in this series, we'll be talking about all the 10 gurus. So I feel that before going forward, two things we should understand. One is that, yes, from outside, it looks that they are 10, but they are basically one. So it is one essence that has flown through the 10 different bodies, and now it exists with us in the form of Shabad, in the form of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So this thing that, when we see that, although there are 10 forms, but basically they are undivided, they are all one. Second thing, that the guru for us is not someone who is like a historical figure or who falls in the linear timeline. He's not like that. For us, he is Zahra Zahoor or Haazra Hazoore. He's always with us. This concept of Gur Mere Sang Sada Hai Nale, that he's always with me, is the core thing of Sikhi. The moment the Sikhs will start feeling like they will fall into the trap of this linear space and time, that same moment they will cut off their relation with the Guru. Guru is something that is present everywhere in every time. So if we start talking about Guru Nanak Dev Ji, to explain this certain thing, this particular thing, we can look into the Swaiyes, which are written by the Patts. We call them Pattan de Swaiye. So in that, the Swaiye which they have written about Guru Nanak Dev Ji, I'll talk a little bit about that. So see, what happened is that when Guru Nanak Dev Ji passed on the Guruship to Guru Angad Dev Ji, so Guru Angad Dev Ji, yes, he did everything like Guru Nanak Dev Ji, but one thing which he really was very much like, he really wanted to do it, was that he wanted to listen to the life events of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, because he came and he stayed with the Guru in the last 8 years. He wanted to know more about his previous life. So, that's why what he did, he called Pai Balaji, who had accompanied Guru Nanak Dev Ji on his travels for a long time. Every evening, Pai Balaji would sit and he would tell Sakhis about the Guru, and Guru Angad Dev Ji would listen that with all devotion, love and devotion. So this relation, which Guru Angad Dev Ji had with Guru Nanak Dev Ji was the first thing to teach us what kind of a relation a Sikh should have with the Guru. That is why when he started this tradition of listening to the Sakhis of the Guru, it set up a tradition for the future time also. Like now also, you see in Gurdwaras, every evening we have the Suraj Prakash Granth's Katha happening. Because, yes, the Almighty is formless, right? He is in everything. We say that. But what happens mostly, like this is my personal experience, that when we are into our spiritual journey, it's not that easy that you start reading a Bani, you start to meditate and no thoughts come and this and that. So reading Sakhis is a kind of method that can help you focus more into your spiritual things. You have so many thoughts, right? To cut down those thoughts, you bring the thoughts of the form of the formless. Guru is the form of that formless whom we don't see, right? So that is why those 10 Saroops in which the Guru existed with us, if we start talking about them in our everyday life, talking about the Sargun Saroop of the Guru, it helps us. So that is why in Sikhi, like this concept of Sakhi is very important. Now, what is Sakhi? Sakhi, the word in itself means witness. So for us, again, it's not a story. Story is something which is just based on your own creative imagination. But Sakhi doesn't come out of your personal creative imagination. Sakhi is something that the Guru did to teach us how to live as perfect humans. Not perfect, at least to be as good humans. So all his acts in Sikhi, we call them Sakhis. Why? Because a Sakhi has that thing into it that when you read it or you listen to it with devotion and all that, it will help you to at least it will ignite that thing of that experiential thing in you about the Guru. So that is why Sakhi means you become witness to that thing. You do get, maybe it is very little, a tiny bit of it, but you would like to go back to it again and again, again and again. If you, because there are two ways of approaching it. One is, okay, now this series is going to start, I'm going to listen to this because I want to know some facts about the Guru. That's one approach. Second approach is, listening to the Sakhis of the Guru is also a way of praying to him, is a way of singing the praises of the Guru. So when you have that approach, then it will give you something of that kind of experience. That is why it's called a Sakhi. And also that is why Sakhis are important, because they keep us in touch with that Sargun Saroop of the Guru, but doesn't limit us to that. Like for example, it does not limit us that, okay, Guru Nanak Dev Ji came in 1469 and he was not there after 1539. No. Swaye Mahalle Pehle Ke tells us, when they talk about Guru Nanak in that, they say that Bhagat Prahlad, or all the people who existed before, even they worshipped the Guru. So it's like Guru he is beyond that time, space, physical body and everything, right? But then again, to make this physical world, to help the beings of this physical world to understand and be in touch with that formless thing, the Guru did this, that he lived like a human like us, and he did many things. So I would love to, in this series, I would love to share some of those things which have really touched my heart as a Sikh. So those things I would love to share in this.
All right. Well, let's get started then.
Yeah.
Where would you like to start with a Sakhi related to the life of Guru Nanak?
Yeah, so the first thing would be, because as you know, this is month of January, and as you have also experienced it here, that in January, in the mid of January, we have a different calendar that we follow in Sikhi. So, according to that calendar, on 14th of Jan, there is a beginning of new month, which is called Maagh. And that thing is considered to be a shift in the weather. From winter, we shift into spring, right? So, it's like to help the nature to grow and blossom in the best way possible. In Sikhi, it's a tradition that on the night before 14th, like on the night of 13th, at Harmandir Sahib, we do an ardas is done, and all the ragis, all the Sikh ragis, they make it a point that from 14th of Jan till the Hola Mahalla, which comes up in March, we sing a lot of Basant Raag, which is good for the nature, because nature needs it at this time, because everything is just growing up. Now, I want to start from this point, that nature has been considered to be very significant in Sikhi from the very beginning. Now, if we connected with Guru Nanak Dev Ji particularly, so Guru Nanak Dev Ji was very specific about this. There are so many Sakhis from his childhood when we see that, he loves being in nature. So his parents choose that, okay, fine, he doesn't like to do anything else. So he likes to sit in the fields. Okay, send him with the cows to help the cows graze, eat grass and all that. So he would do that. But, we saw that during those Sakhis, we see that how nature was like, like worshipping him instead. Like he would lie down under a tree and the shade of the tree would just fall on his face and it would not change the direction. Or he's lying down and we see that, his cows go and they eat up the grass from someone's field, and then later we see that the fields are all green. So such things start happening. But how Guru connects us, like these are the things which we observe from his life. But otherwise also, how the Guru explains us the significance is through the Bani Asa Di Vaar. Every morning in every Sikh Gurdwara, Asa Di Vaar is the Bani which is sung everywhere. Now in Asa Di Vaar, the Rahau, every Bani has, it's like the central idea of the whole Bani is put up in the lines which are written with Rahau. So the Rahau of Asa Di Vaar is Balihari Kudrat Vasya, Tera Ant Na Jai Lakhya Rahau. That Balihar means, you say like, I am all for you. Like, I love you because like you are to whom am I bowing? Because the one who is manifested in the nature, right? And I cannot find an end to his attributes and to the beauty that he has, who the Almighty who is manifested. This is the Rahau. Now giving this Rahau, Guru Maharaj Ji in this explains all about the creation and nature. One thing which is very important in this is that the Guru teaches us the path of Vismad. through Asa Di Vaar. Now, what is Vismad? The Guru says that it's like you see a beautiful thing and you are stuck, like the beauty of, you see a good rose, you see sunrise, you see sunset, and if you have a very like sensitive heart, or like otherwise also, you will, if you sit there with a calm mind and you try to observe it, that beauty will enter into your mind and it will have such kind of impact that it can connect you with the one who created it. So that feeling is called Vismad. In English, like we call it ecstasy. That kind of a feeling. So he says that if you make it a routine in your life to be in nature for some of time, every day, sometime, or maybe then increase it over, the more you are with nature, the more you will be connected with this natural beauty. The more you will be connected with the beauty, that beauty will help you to connect with the one who created this beauty and who is the most beautiful. So he says that this path of Vismad is one of the best paths to lead you to the Almighty and to be one with the one who created you. So that is like, that's how nature is considered to be very important. Like nature as a friend, as in, like you are a seeker, nature is also a seeker. It's like, you talk to the nature like a friend, that, how are you connected with him? So then it helps you with his beauty to also make up that connection. Now, to understand, to give an example of this, I would like to talk about the life of a Muslim priest. His name was Pir Buddan Shah. He was a man, like a Muslim person, and he was lot into many yogic practices also, many things he would do. And he lived on we went to Anandpur Sahib last year, you remember, so we visited his place. So he used to live there. Now, Buddan Shah Ji was into a very sincere kind of path, like he was very sincere with what he was doing. But still, he was very surprised that, he always, still, he was into it for years and years. Still, he was like, okay, I'm doing the right things. I am morally a very right person. I'm living a difficult life. I'm not too much comfortable. I'm doing all the right things that I should do as a spiritual person. But still, I don't feel that, that magic of love has happened in me. He missed that. So, while he was staying up on a hill, so there was a small village. In that village, many families lived. So from that village, there was a family and they had a daughter of like 12 or 13 years of age. So every day, like, she would just sometimes run around the mountains with her goats. She would come and all that. So he would observe her, He had been observing her for some time. But after some time, he observed that her behavior was changing day by day. And what was happening? She was becoming more and more happy and also matured in a way. Not matured like, that she was growing up, but matured more like spiritually. So he observed it every day. And, it made him feel something. He was like, you see, I am someone who's doing so many spiritual things. Still, I don't feel that I am at that much peace. I am that much blissful. How much this little girl is. How is she so blissful every day? So, he started talking to her. And, when he asked her for the first time that, what makes you so happy? You're just so happy every day. So that time she shared with him, Pai Veer Singh Ji has written this Sakhi very beautifully. And, the girl shares with him that I was happy before also, but something happened after we all met this great man. He's like, which great man? Then she mentioned that, many months back, there was a holy person who came into that particular village and me and my family visited him. His name is Guru Nanak. And now wherever I go, I just see him. I see him on the sun when the sun rises in the morning. I see him in the water that falls from this waterfall on the hill. And I don't know what happened. Like, she was so young to explain, the terminology and all that she couldn't use. But still she was like, I don't know. I just feel I love him so much that I see him everywhere. And that's something which is like, has made me so satisfied and happy and everything. So Buddan Shah Ji was like, really, it did, like, he liked listening to this, that okay, but also he felt hurt in some way. He was like, me, such an old man doing so many things for so many years, I have not had this experience which she has had with just one meeting with this holy man. When will I get to meet him? So, then after some time when Guru Maharaj Ji visited that place again, so that time then again he came and he met Baba Pir Buddan Shah Ji, and the meeting was very blissful, and then the Guru blessed him, and then after that, like he's by Pir Buddan Shah is like, these are the same hills, they are the same, like same thing, but he started feeling it differently. Because sometimes restricting yourself so much from everything also doesn't help. So that like how he, after that, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, like the Sakhi says like this, that Guru Nanak Dev Ji stayed there for a day or two, and Pir Buddan Shah, only thing he would drink was milk, nothing else he would eat. So he had some goats and he would drink the goat milk. So he wanted to offer the milk to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guruji said that today I will not have this milk because I'm going to have food at that girl's house. But I will have it when I come the next time. So Pir Buddan Shah is like, when will you come the next time? He said that when I'll be in my sixth form. And Pir Buddan Shah Ji lived till Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, and then Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji came to visit him, and then he first thing he asked was that, where is the milk which I left the last time? So but the thing to understand here is that the thing with which he got connected with the Guru more was nature. Nature, because after the girl talked to him, then every day the girl would come and she would say that, don't you see how the trees are growing, how beautiful they are. So all the discussions which he had with the girl and the family, which made him like which prepared him for that special meeting which he had with the Guru Nanak, was this, that in all those discussions, because they were simple people, they just fell in love with the Guru out of devotion. Now they are seekers, he is also a seeker. So they want to bring him to the same path as well, so that he gets that happiness also. So what are they telling him to do? To just love nature. They say that, see, he's there, he's in everything, feel that everything is alive. So like this. So in Sikhi, this path of being in connection with nature gives you the feeling of Vismad, and that helps us to connect with the one who created it.
Very nice. One of you're talking about like a dialogue with nature, or even a dialogue between the peer and the girl helped him in his spiritual development and appreciating life and aliveness. What other dialogues did Guru Nanak engage in?
Now, if we talk about the dialogues, so you see, what I understand is that the Gurus coming into the world was basically to, when we read by Gurdas Ji, by Gurdas Ji's Vara are the most important resource which tell us about the Guru. So he says that, Suni Pukar Datar Prabh Guru Nanak Jag Mahe Pathaya, that a call of humanity reached the Almighty, and then Guru Nanak was sent. Now what was that call? What was happening in the world at that time? There are two different traditions if we look into the religions, Aryan traditions and Semitic traditions. So what was happening at that time, that both these traditions were into a very big clash. Aryan traditions include Hindus, Buddhists, Jainism, all these religions. And the Semitic traditions are Judaism, Christianity, and then Islam. So what was happening at that time, that Islam and Hinduism were both into a clash, because Islam believes that yes, there is Allah, then there is Prophet, and then it's we, the seekers, right? These three will always exist, right? You will always have to believe that, okay, I can grow spiritually, whatever happens, I will, but still there will be a Prophet and there will be an Allah. This is the Shariat form of Islam that they follow. Sufis think it differently. But at that time, Sufis were not prominent, so this was the thought that was prominent. On the Hindu side, they believe that Brahma is manifested in everything, right? So they have this concept of having the angels, gods for everything, right? So they do this. Now both these thoughts were into a clash, and one of them was the ruling party, you can say. So when you are like, your thought is different and you're also dominant, you can be dominant, then they take an advantage of it. So that's what was happening. So one of the community was suffering because of the other. And this was not only like limited to, you can say, like only to a physical level, that okay, I am a king and you are you are someone I'm ruling over, so I'm just being dominant to you, and it's just matter of a king and things will go away when I die and the other person comes up. No, it existed in the thought, at the thought level. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji's coming into the world was, what I understand is that one of the main purpose was to bring these both traditions together. That I can be different from you, but still we can sit together. So both the traditions, right? Your way of following God and your way of following God can be different. But remember, love is taught in both the traditions. Why can't you love each other? Even if you are different, don't consider the other to be the other. Consider that he or she still has the same essence which I have. So to teach this. So that is why Guru Nanak Dev Ji had dialogues with all different traditions. He had a dialogue with the in Hindus at that time. This path of yoga was very famous, so he had a dialogue with the Siddhs of that time, right? Then he had a dialogue with the Muslim traditions as well. Many of the Muslim priests who met him, he explained things to them. So like, and then otherwise also, there were so many different ways of following God. People were getting very ritualistic, so he had a dialogue with them also to make them understand that what is the importance of the rituals in a religion. It's not that they're not needed, but it's also not that that is only what is the most important thing. So the first dialogue which I would like to talk about is about Siddh Gosht. So Guru Nanak Dev Maharaj Ji, because what was happening that time, that it was believed that if you are to follow religion, if you have to be spiritual, you have to renounce, you have to leave the world, this path of tyag, that you have to leave it, right? You cannot be into it and still be spiritual. If you are into the world, you are a worldly person. If you want to be called a spiritual person, you have to leave everything and be on your own. So that's why many people at that time who called themselves Siddh, Yogis, Naths, all those people left this world and they would go up in the mountains or in the forests and be into their personal meditations and everything. Guru Nanak Dev Maharaj Ji made it a point to go to them, meet them, talk to them, make them understand that this is not the way which will help the society. And you want to actually, why do you want to be spiritual? What does spirituality teach us? That we have to love the one who created it, and then we have to play a role in his process of keeping up this creation. So you have to love the creation as well. But now you're not doing that when you're renouncing it, because what's happening, for example, if I study science and I become very good in science, I am an expert, but I don't use that, I don't go to a school, I don't teach, how will the other people learn about it? So if I think that I'm being very spiritual and now I go and I get into my own thing and I just don't share it with other people, the people will not, who will guide them? The society is not being guided. That is why all the negative forces are getting into power. So you guys need to go back, help the people and try to understand, help them, and also it will help you grow further as well, but it will help those people also to grow. Now, this was one thing, but if we go at a deeper level, what was happening with those people who they felt that what happens when we are like, now this is only theory I'm talking about, whatever I've studied, that you reach, when you're into your meditation, your prayer and everything, you reach to a certain level where you start experiencing that yes, it is one in everybody, right? So then to whom do I need to talk to, right? It's the same everywhere. And then you enter into that state of that you are happy, you are blissful, but now you don't want to move further, not beyond, not back, nothing. You just want to be there. But Sikhi is something beyond this. Sikhi wants that, when you reach this experience, you have to spread it, you have to share it. Now that is something, that is why Guru Nanak Dev Maharaj Ji had a dialogue with them, and this is very beautifully explained in the Bani of Siddh Gosht. When those people asked Guru Nanak that you look so young, because they were all more than 100 years of age, and they thought that he's such a young man, what does he know about spirituality? So they said that, okay, what is your mission? First explain to us, what's your mission? So Guru Nanak Dev Ji said that my mission is, the God has given me this duty that I have to create a Gurmukh, a human being who can be like a lotus, that a lotus lives in water, but still it is not spoilt by the water, right? It can stay above it. So it's like, like a duck, how a duck floats in water. Similarly, how a spiritual person can be in the world, but still be beyond it as well. This is the thing for which I have come into the world, because spirituality is not something which belongs to only a group of people. It is for everybody. It's for everybody, that every person who is born as a physical being in the world is also to be reborn as a spiritual being. Everybody. Everyone's purpose of life is to be one with Almighty, not only for a certain group of people. So that is why, to make this, you can say that to have everybody have this access to this spirituality, I have to create this path, this kind of humans who can inspire people to be in the world and to be beyond it. So that is why Siddh Gosht is like, a dialogue between the Guru, and then it talks more about yoga and everything. And also, when it comes to yoga, also, when the Guru was into a dialogue with them, he also explained this concept of Naam and Naami. That, like he went to Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri is in Odisha. And there, like I told you about Asa Di Vaar, similarly in Aarti, the Bani Aarti. In Aarti also the Guru talks about the beautiful setting up of the nature, right? So there also, when he had a talk with the Hindu priests who were very fundamental and with the rituals and everything. So there also he talked to them. He said that, when you are focused only on your chanting, like the Hatha yoga thing, then what happens is that you do chant the Naam, and you do get all those powers and things are happening. But until and unless you fall in love with the Naami, the final thing will not happen. And what is that final thing? That you will experience it, but you will also go beyond it. So, and going beyond it means you will live in the world, but you will not lose it. It will always stay with you. Otherwise, what will happen? It will stay with you till you are connected with it. The moment you get into some other thing, you will feel like you are losing that connection. So that is why Guru said that from the very beginning, to be in touch with the Naami is also very important. So taking this thing into the tradition forever, that is why Guru Angad Dev Ji started this concept of Sakhi. Because Naami, who are we focusing on? That's very important. That is why the Sargun Saroop is important. That is why from a Sikh's mind, this existence of the Sargun Saroop of the Guru, this love for the Sargun Saroop of the Guru plays a big role. That helps. When a person is devotional, how does devotion work? Falling in love. How do you fall in love? When you get to know that this person is good, this person has this quality, this person has these things which I like, then you fall in love. So to know those attributes, we need to know about the Guru, we need to know about his Sakhis. So that's how it is. So that is why, like coming back to from where I started, that this form of the formless is the Sargun Saroop of the Guru. But again, that Sargun Saroop is not limited in time and space. It is beyond that. So that's how it is. Like, it's like you can say, it is a form, but the form is again infinite. It's like a paradoxical thing happening. Like we say, like in Vedanta, we say that the world is Maya. So that means it's an illusion, but still it is there. It is there, but still it is illusion. So that kind of a thing. So the Guru is the form of that formless, but a form which is infinite.
All right. Well, I think we can leave it there for today. That was really great. And we'll look forward to next month when we talk more about Guru Angad Dev Ji.